Beautiful. Let's see. Let's see here. We have people from, look at that. Norway, Seattle, Oakland, California. Wait, what are we saying here? Grateful me. I'm not sure how long. Battery power. Video not working. Does anyone? Video not working. Is anyone experiencing trouble with your video? Other than the people just putting that in the chat. Can you see me? Can you just give me a thumbs up if you see me? Okay. My video is working. I can see you. So I really hope that gets sorted out for you too. Yeah. So what else? Let's see. Oakland, Portugal, Curiosity from Portland, Oregon. Sarah and Min from Cape Town, South Africa. Homecoming. Veronique, maybe. I'm not sure if that's how you say your name, but Germany. Another Regina from Germany as well. Hamburg. Life is in Monacan. I'm going to learn how to say this next time, I promise. I hope I'm saying it right. Rural Virginia. Wow. Bree from San Diego, Columbia, California. Carmen from, that's Zoe in Colombia, and then Carmen in Amsterdam. Laura in France, Martha in Holland, Lisa in Washington, and so on and so forth. I'm sure you can also see the chat and follow through. Awesome. Nina. Hi, Nina. Hi, Naya. Naya, Denmark. So grateful that you're here. We have such a rich exploration ahead of us. And I'm Stefana. I'm in Oakland, California. Today, I am mostly really psyched, excited, sparked to be together. And I know that some of you are joining us for the first time. Maybe there's like a good number of people here joining us for the first time. So welcome to the community. Welcome to the work. Welcome to the possibility. Welcome to the world that we've been cultivating together and just really infusing the rest of the world with over the last 14 years now, since I began doing this work, and then many more people joining in. I wanted to just share a little bit about just things that I feel like you need to know in order for your nervous system to rest a little deeper. But then you can definitely feel free to let me know if you have more questions after I share what I have to share. So in terms of video and recording, this call is being recorded, as you know. However, the recording that we share with people who have purchased the recording and for any purposes in the future will be shared in the speaker view, which means that a video of you will not be shared under any circumstances except for if you are actively speaking on the call, right? So if we're asking questions, if we're sharing just some bits of wisdom together, and if you're speaking and sharing, not in the breakout rooms, but in the main room only. If you're sharing in the main room with us, that will be on the recording, unless you specifically write us to request that your share is not included. But that makes it hard for us. So hopefully that you can lend your wisdom and your voice to the recording and feel okay about that. But your movement, your space, your movement, your practice will not be shared via the recording. And I invite you right now to, as I'm saying all these things, as we begin to really, just kind of come deeper and deeper in, to choose to eliminate distractions. Whatever is in your space, whatever is on your mind, that will happen slower with the mind coming all the way here. But whatever is there is a distraction, like your phone. Maybe we take this moment to switch your phones off. Maybe you take this moment to close your door, to close your window. But there's something to be said about you choosing deliberately to give 100% of your attention and your energy here for the duration of the call, which is lengthy, right? Today we're here for 3.5 hours. There's something about choosing to be fully present, as opposed to those like online spaces that we sometimes go to, that, you know, the webinar with 1,000 people, where you just feel like you can be eating breakfast and driving, and you still can. Please feel free to nourish your belly, to snack, to take a body break when you need it. I fully trust you to take care of your own body. You're fully welcome to. And there's a way to stay present even as you do that, right? So thank you for choosing to stay present. That undivided quality of attention helps all of us. And a couple of things about the work and about what you might expect, what you might run into maybe. And in a way, if you experience an overstimulation or overactivation through these practices, I also want to offer a piece of just a guideline for how you might handle that. The work is stirring. Its intention, its purpose, its nature is to stir, to churn, to make things move, not just, you know, on the outside, but deep, deep inside, right? So it's very likely that whatever is in you to be brought to the surface will be brought to the surface. And I take it that you signed up for it, right? Maybe you didn't know exactly what, but you signed up for that. So it's coming. And there's a way to, I would love to invite you to honor whatever experience your body brings to the surface with an open heart and with a calm nervous system, right? Specifically, I want to address something that we often overlook, the feeling of not feeling, okay? The feeling of numbness, the opposite of feeling. Oh yeah, Rick, I'm kind of not really feeling it. Yeah, I'm moving, I hear you, I get it, but I'm not sure if this is working for me. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I think I'm just gonna go snack on a cookie for a moment. I'm gonna come back, I'll see how it goes, right? That in a way is kind of a withdrawal from feeling. And I want to make space for us to honor that, to respect that, but to really consciously recognize it as feeling, like the lack of feeling, the lack of experience, for us to respect it as experience, as numbness, as not feeling, which is in itself intelligence, which in itself is there to protect us, to serve us in some way. And so as long as you're like, okay, yes, I'm going to breathe through this not feeling, numbness, like resistance or like nothingness, right? It's like, I signed up for this thing, I paid for this thing, and I'm not feeling anything. I'm going to choose to honor that instead of move myself further away from what's happening, right? Lean into not feeling, lean into resistance, lean in, like, give it a shape, give it body, give it your palms, give it your facial expression, right? Engage in it, make it alive. And then it's intelligent. And then you're intelligent inside of it, right? So then the opposite of that would be if you encounter things that are specifically challenging in the body, like a lot is moving. My breath is getting shallow, and a lot is coming up. I'm fearful, or I'm grieving, or I'm in rage, or I'm like, this work is really working. Whatever is stirred is like a little too much. Please know that in moments like that, you can always take an extra kind of the extra effort to feel your feet on the ground, to remember that you are larger than this feeling and this experience of activation in the moment. You are bigger, you're an adult, you know how to parent yourself, you know how to soothe yourself, you know how to take a breath that's deeper. You know how to, if it gets to be too much, you know how to step aside for a moment to say, ooh, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to turn toward the window. I'm going to open my eyes. I'm going to allow for the larger me to get back online so that she can hold me as I move through this fraction of experience that is the activation, right? Yeah, all of these are strategies. All of these are strategies that you already know. And now I'm just reiterating so that you are reminded that you can take care of yourself. And I trust that. Now, if something feels like specifically challenging in a way that you're like, I don't know how to do this right now, it's too much or it's too little, something, right? Feel free to private message me on the chat and I will find a way to support you. Maybe not immediately, but in good timing. All right. Yeah. The last thing I want to say here about this, about how the know-how about how we're doing this, right, is around what's invited and how your body may initially relate to it, right? So I'll be guiding, I'll be, just providing, asking questions, inviting your body places, inviting your psyche places. And sometimes that will land exactly perfectly well for you, and you'll be able to follow it and you'll have an experience with it. And in other moments, it will be like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not sure I heard that. What does that really mean, right? When you notice that second wave of like, yeah, I don't know about that, just feel free to let it go. Do not get too mental about it, right? It's like, just go with what works. Go with where you are. Follow your own body. My guidance is just there to hold the overall container. Inside of that container, you will have the experience you need, not because of every word I say, but because of the overall space that is being held here for all of us, right? So you're not going to miss anything. You're not doing anything wrong. There is no right way to do it. The way you do it is the way you do it. The way you do it is the way to do it, right? And you're going to hear me. I guess this might help to say this ahead of time. Movement here in this space could be just you in a posture, just you in a shape, just you shaking your head. Oh, movement here is you tracing your body into a shape all the way until your face is in the shape too. It's in the shape of the longing. It's in the shape of the feeling. Your muscles, your fists, the line of your neck, all of that is in the shape of your feeling, right? That is movement. When we say movement, it doesn't mean you're just right moving. Movement is you putting one foot in front of the other. Movement is you touching, contacting your body. Movement is you tracing your inner images and your memories, your feelings as you are. However your body is positioned, you are with your internal experience and you're giving it body. You are with your internal experience and you're giving it body. That's what we mean by movement here. So I feel like that's everything I had in mind to share. Is there anything that you would like to ask? And I'm pretty sure that in a moment here, as I begin speaking about spine, I may answer some more of your questions, but if there's anything like practical that you really want to ask, please feel free to put in the chat or unmute yourself and ask. Breaks, we might take one group break halfway through, just very briefly. Otherwise, please feel free to take your own, maybe without necessarily checking out or leaving the space, but kind of breaking to take care of yourself, but still staying tuned into the field. Yeah. Okay. And we will have about, I don't really know exactly, something like 2 to 3 movements today. And movements are movement journeys, movement practices. Each of them is a different length. You will be guided all the way through loosely with enough space for you to be free. And we will have some group discussions and some partner discussions and small room discussions and witness practices as well. So yeah, I hope that covers it all. So let's orient, and again, I welcome you to ask any questions in the chat or to present any of your thoughts or feelings right now in the chat, and I will find a way to include them and pay attention. Spine. I would love it if we can hear the word spine in a different language, different than English. I'm going to say it in a couple of languages. And then if I haven't covered that, if I haven't covered yours, maybe you can unmute and say it. We can hear from everyone who speaks a different language, maybe in a few different languages. So grabnak, and that's Bulgarian, and espalda in Spanish. Oh no, that's back. What's spine in Spanish? What's spine in Spanish? Espalda? Espinaca? No. I think it's espalda maybe as the whole thing, right? If you know it, please say it. How about Norwegian? Can we hear it in Norwegian?
Ryggrad.
Ooh, I love it. Can you say it again?
Ryggrad.
Ryggrad. Good. Can we hear it in Dutch?
Ruggengraat.
Ruggengraat. Wow. Can we hear it in German?
Wirbelsäule.
Oh, that was a little muffled. Maybe someone else can try too. Stephanie, can you say that in Austrian German?
Wirbelsäule.
Wirbelsäule. Love it. What else do we have? Do we have French? Is anyone a French native speaker? Maybe Veronique there? Spina. Okay.
Colonne vertébrale. Colonne vertébrale.
For some reason, your sound is really, really muffled, Veronica. I don't know why, but it's like, I can hear you, but it's very fragmented. So maybe there's something about your microphone. Maybe you can work that out. Espina is in Spanish. Thank you, Kate. And yeah, sorry, Veronique. I hope you can see us and hear us, and that would be enough. All right. Do we have any other language that wants to be present? All right. Okay. So spine. I want to name a couple of things about spine. And I guess I actually want to show you your spine too. I think there's something really powerful about picturing the way something is positioned in your body. So I'm gonna allow you to look at spine for a moment here. And this is specifically the female spine. I just want you to notice how my specific, all of it is fascinating, right? So it starts right at the brain stem. It's directly connected to the brain. And it literally brings the intelligence of the brain, of the reptilian brain, of the brain stem, down into the entire body. And the part that I'm specifically fascinated with is this part of the spine, the sacrum, that curves. It kind of like really becomes a serpent right here. And then the coccyx, the tailbone, that right here becomes like a spoon, right? It kind of scoops. It's almost like its purpose, it's to scoop something up, right? That's the way I see it anyway. But what's even more important is, what do you see? What do you imagine? Like outside of the scientific, like, oh, here is a spine and it starts in the brain and it ends at the tailbone. What do you imagine? What do you feel? What sparks you about this image of spine? Maybe if you have one word, you can write it down in your journal, and maybe also you can put it in the chat if you desire. But what comes to mind? And in the meantime, I'm going to share one more image with you. And I'm going to just specifically pay attention to that, the base of your spine. Oops, yeah. So this here, right, is the base of the spine, bottom of the spine, or the lumbar spine, and then it connects to the sacrum. The red color is the sacrum, which really is kind of the foundation behind the pelvic bowl. It's kind of the wall of the pelvic bowl, and it's the protector of the pelvis. And this is the pelvic bone, these two on the sides here, right? The pelvic bone. And down here, the purple, that is the tailbone. So I just wanted you to have that visual. I know you spell that out, Laura, in French, but I have no idea how I'd say it. So thank you, though. Colonne vertebrae in French. Yeah, so Sarah says snake. Snake is the thing that comes when you think of spine. Does anything else come to mind? Let me know. Dragon, Connie. Yeah, Connie says dragon. Awesome. Reptilian, says Veronique. And Life says connection. I love that. Connection too, yeah. Alien, Elizabeth. Awesome. Exactly. It is. It really is an alien. Serpentine, ancient. Length. Life says length. Strength. Ancient architecture, love it. Snaky, link between opposites, strong and flexible, beautiful, exactly. So imagine if you would say all of these things about yourself and the I person. I am snake, I am dragon, I am reptilian, I am alien, I am connection, I am ancient serpentine mind, I am length, I am strength, right? It does bring all of these qualities inside of us too. And what is really, really essential to name about spine is that it contains and protects the nervous system, the entire nervous system, central nervous system, right? It doesn't get more important than that. It holds it, contains it, and it protects it. You all know, I don't need to tell you this, the damage of spine is oftentimes fatal or devastating, right? So what this means is that spine distributes through fibers that go out of the vertebrae and give signal to the rest of the body. Spine really distributes movement, motor function. And it's, yeah, I don't need to say anything about like why this is important, right? It's like so obvious. It's someone I think said connection or communication. It's a communication center. It's a communication center from the brain, again, the brain, throughout the rest of the body. It literally has, I think it's 33 when we are young, and then they grow together, the vertebrae, so they become 24 when they're an adult. But all of these vertebrae, all of these stacked up kind of rooms of information are connected with each other. And so like we have a communication center in the spine that passes on information throughout the rest of the body. And I think that there's more that I want to share, but I'm going to do that later on when we begin accessing specific places of the spine. And so as an ancestor, it's not right, we wouldn't call it an organ system, but as a skeletal system, spine is one of the most ancient parts of our bodies. Why? Because it's our evolution for a spine, that it's in the water beings, that is in the earth beings, that infuses and evolves into a human spine as well. So spine is a skeletal creature that is connected to all of the skeletal beings around us. Contains some of the bone marrow, right? Bone marrow is DNA intelligence. So all of it, so spine is brain, spine is bone marrow, spine is nervous system, spine is communication throughout the whole body. It doesn't get more essential than that. And yet we kind of overlook it, right? It's like when we do women's work specifically, or deep feminine work, we're like the womb, the ovaries, the fallopian tubes, the vulva, the waist, right? The belly, the breasts. And spine gets a little overlooked. Not today though, right? All right. So enough said. I want to invite us to connect to spine right now. And what I mean by right now, it's like the moment I say this, you have a perception of your spine. And you can make it even more conscious if you close your eyes without effort, without changing anything about how you are. Where do you notice your spine first? Notice saying the word spine inside of yourself and noticing where your spine lights up. And just tracing, scanning these sensations of that particular part of your spine, right? So zooming in on the sensations of that part of your spine. What is your sensational impression of the spine there? Is it warm, cold? Is it packed in and dense? Or is it kind of spacious and porous? Breathing into that place of spine. You may have a lot of sensations right away. You may have none. You may have just kind of one overall vague sensation. But the more you rest your attention there, the more spine allows you to feel her. Oh, and so with this next scoop of attention, I'm going to invite you to just without shifting awareness too much, without doing any jerk movements or sharp movements, to just allow yourself to come to standing, maybe even keeping your eyes closed still for the most part. Coming to standing together. And really giving a few moments to your body to just begin giving spine some space to be. So follow your body, follow your spine. And to any movement that allows you to feel spine even more, to make space for her. Yeah, maybe keeping your eyes closed here for, if it works for you, if that feels safe and good, keeping your eyes closed. And we're going to go into our first movement. It's going to be a somewhat of a short movement that will allow you to connect deeper. And then we're going to come back and harvest some of what we've touched together. So, all right, here's some sound. Yeah, there we are. I want to invite us, and we're going to come back to the intuitive movement of spine very soon. But at least for a moment, I want to invite us all to really kind of lengthen the spine together a little bit before anything else happens. So how might we lengthen the spine without doing any other movement? What is it for you to pull up your spine through the tip of your head, extending upward? Just to pull up the tip of your head through spine. And that is already spinal alignment, spinal communication extending upward, right? Just pulling your body through the tip of your head upward, stretching upward without moving any part of your body other than just spine. And then noticing how you can release that down, not by moving any part of your body, but by allowing your spine to become a little more compact again, right? And then lengthening again by stretching the spine upward through the top of your head and down through the tailbone, extending spine as much as you can. And then restfully exhaling, allowing spine to become compact again. And just a couple of more of these, just quicker this time. You may soften your knees so that when you pull up, strengthening the knees, extending through the top of the head, and standing in the full extension of spine, still gently, still softly, but spine is fully extending. And maybe let's this time add our arms stretching up all the way above the head, all the way straight, shooting towards the sky, breathing deeply. And through the elbows, releasing your arms down, allowing spine to become compact again, shortened again. And just feeling the vertebrae as much as you can. One last time, I'm gonna soften the knees, push your feet into the ground, and then gently strengthening your knees, pulling up toward the central column of the body, all the way through the top, through the tip of the head, extending upward, and adding our arms, stretching the whole body upward toward the sky. This time, even the face upward toward the sky. And through the elbows of the arms, releasing the face. Softening the knees again, allowing spine to rest into this more compact state. couple of more movements together, and then we will follow the intuitive ones. But you know this one, I'm sure you've done it in different contexts. To start at the sacrum, to start at the tailbone, the sacrum, and just to allow vertebrae by vertebrae to begin scooping forward, bending down, soft knees, little by little, dropping the weight of your head and noticing your vertebrae gently arriving towards the ground. Take as long as you need. Your arms are hanging loose to the sides of your body or the sides of your shoulders and your head. The knees are soft, the pelvis is not clenched. Oh. Let the weight of your head be loose, drop down all the way, as much as it's comfortable for your body, and sway left and right, through the head, swaying the head, letting your vertebrae come loose, curling the vertebrae in your neck. And then very, very slowly, starting with the vertebrae of the neck, and in order, lifting up from the ground. First the neck, then the upper torso, and then slowly stacking over the mid-spine and slowly coming to standing, feeling the root, the base of our spine. And tucking the tailbone just a little bit to become a base that we sit in. This pelvic bowl, the tailbone, the base of the spine, becoming the ground in which we stand. Soft pelvis, vulva is open and breathing towards the ground. The tissue is soft. And one more time, with suppleness, with flexibility, as much as you can. If there's pain, just breathing with it. Slowly, starting at the coccyx, tailbone, vertebrae by vertebrae, starting down, slowly, each vertebrae unfolding, falling toward the ground. The knees get soft, a little bent perhaps, to allow you more space. And all the way until the head is facing down or through, you're looking through your legs. The tip of your head is pointing to the ground. Maybe your hands are touching your feet. You don't need to strain or to force anything. And we are just gently swaying through the head, through the neck, curling the neck. Oh. Maybe a gentle snake-like movement, spine movement, snake movement here. Whatever movement feels good and intuitive to your spine in this position. All of your weight is toward the ground and you're just swaying loosely as if to free up your thoughts, to free up your aches. Your head is loose, your neck is loose. Staying down like this for another moment. Breathing and gently beginning through the vertebrae of the neck, starting the journey backward, lifting up. The legs get strong, the vertebrae starts curling upward until you come all the way, vertebrae by vertebrae, to the upright position again, slowly tucking in the tailbone a little bit so that you can stand in the elongation of your spine, the fullness of your spine. And just with knees soft here, knees soft, pelvis soft, belly soft, breathing. From this place, the spine now has more space to begin discovering herself through the movements that she most needs, right? So that is the invitation for you now. At any point, you may want to take a glimpse over to the screen if you wanted to notice some other spines moving. But for the most part, you are really, really attuning to your own spinal needs. Spinal needs. Just giving spine the freedom, to curl, to bend, to twist. In whatever way she needs to right now. It's like you're entering a conversation with spine, non-verbal, no expectations, no demands. Move in a way that connects you to spine as her own being, as her own priestess in your body, right? It's like, wow, curiosity. Be so curious about this old ancestor inside you, right? And now she moves you. And now she shows you. Breathing, letting your breath become audible if it wants to be. Your exhaling may help you move through certain places of density and stagnation in the spine. You may hear yourself make a sound like ooh. You may notice that there are particular areas of your spine that feel kind of unavailable, not really available to your sensing attention, right? So honor that. Whatever you notice, honor that. Bring love to it. And because spine most likely hasn't been able to really move in her native language in your body in a long time. If you are like me, you spend a lot of time on a chair, in the office, on the couch. And so let's take some time to lubricate the spine. You're going to do this on your own. My invitation is that your eyes are still closed. Feel free to open them whenever that feels better though. So beginning with the vertebrae right at the tip of the spine, at the base of your skull. Imagine, actually take your hands and imagine that in the palms of your hands, there is essential oils mixed with some water, okay? When you do this practice again, you may actually place some water and some essential oils in your palms, but for now, they can just be imagined, water and fragrant oils. And we're going to take these two handfuls of water and oil and gently bring them to the base of the neck, to the beginning of spine at the base of the skull. And imagine that you are massaging that oil, those waters into your vertebrae. You're allowing spine to receive them. And then you can let go with your hands. You can rest your hands. You can let them be free. And bring your attention to that oil, to those waters that are now beginning to lubricate the spine along with your movement. So we're going to stay with the neck, lubricating the neck with your movement and the water and the oils trickling into it, deeper into the bone, deeper into the nerve endings. Deeper into the tissue of spine. Staying with the neck, although the lubrication now begins to become available, right? It begins to ignite downward. And so you're tracing the waters and the oils beginning to trickle down into the vertebrae that connects the neck with the back. Right there at the shoulder griddle. Noticing now if you can bring your movement to focus there so that the lubrication can happen. The shoulder griddle, the beginning of the back, the top of the back, becoming lubricated now. Water, movement, breath, and fragrant oils, lubricating. The rest of your body, of course, is reading the signal, receiving the signal, participating, responding. Allowing the water and the oils and the movement and the breath to travel downwards toward the middle of the spine, middle back, mid back. Allow the movement to originate in the mid spine and to lubricate the mid spine. Your arms are free to move too, your hands, your fingertips. The expression of your face is welcome to respond to this lubrication. Lubricating, lubricating. If there are aches, if there is numbness, just allowing your breath and your movement to touch there with love, with slowness, with respect. Finding new intuitive movements. That help you wake up still that mid-spine, the mid-spine, lubricating it. Every vertebrae is gently and surely receiving the movement, the lubrication. Just feeling yourself, just sensing yourself, that's it. And whatever opens up, welcome it, inhabit it. You might find yourself whispering in a language you know or in a language you don't know. Mid-spine, we're still in the mid-spine, connecting back again to the neck and the upper spine, so that now the snake is really beginning to curl and twirl and open more space inside you. You must let yourself to be free. You must make yourself free to sound, to whisper, to receive images, to feel feelings. Whatever comes, you're available. You're breathing with it. If nothing comes, that is intelligence enough. Okay? Honoring that. Just moving. Neck. Neck. Upper back. Shoulder griddle. Mid-spine. And all the way now, full attention to the sacrum, on the sacrum. What movements can you allow in your body so that you can feel your sacrum, your lower back, your waist more deeply? Intuitive spine movement. That is of the essence. Tailbone. The tailbone. That tip at the bottom of the spine, stirring everything inside you. That tailbone. What kind of movements can you make in order to experience your tailbone, to experience it? lubricating to bring the oils and the waters down into it. The full spine now, the full reptilian being, from neck to tailbone, from tailbone to neck, from head to pelvic bowl, the whole spine opening up, twirling, snaking, lubricating. Staying present. Noticing what's opening up as energy, as sensations in your body, and how those want to move. For another few moments, allowing your spine to just show in your body what wants to become available as feeling, as sensation, as sexuality, as memory, as anger, right? There isn't right or wrong emotion or feeling, but what is here? What is here? How does it change the expression of your face? Your eyes, your mouth, your tongue, your jaw. Notice a little bit of something about who you are becoming. Ever so gently so. What is trying to happen here? Who are you becoming inside of this movement? Maybe unexpectedly. Maybe it's not that surprising. But notice that. And now I'm going to invite you to journey even deeper, right from where you are. Working with what's already present for you is really important. So staying in that rhythm, right? Staying in that energy, not leaving it, even if I suggest something else. You stay with what is true for you. And inside of that, I ask that you begin paying attention to one part of your spine that wants to be noticed. Your eyes are closed, your attention is on the entire length of the spine, and there's a stretch of spine. It might be right at the tailbone, it might be at the upper back, or it might be in the neck, and it might be pain. It might be heat, or it might be complete numbness. But for whatever reason, you know almost right away that that is the part of your spine that your spine wants you to be with. And so tune into it through your felt attention. Bring your next exhale there. Bring your next inhale there. Notice, is it tight? Is it spacious? Is it achy? Is it sharp? Is it calling you to notice it because it needs release or because it needs attention? Just notice how it's calling it, how it's calling you to itself. And noticing now, if you ask this question of that place in your spine, if we can ask her, how do you need me to move? What do you need of my breath? What do you need of my movement? What do you need of my body shaping? And listen. Follow. Maybe the movement changes suddenly. Maybe there's a violent need to shake or push your elbows to the side, or maybe there's a very gentle need to stretch upward or to hold yourself and soothe yourself and shift weight between right and left. You are in a conversation without words. What do you need of me? You ask her. What do you need of my movement? Why have you called me here today? Why have you called me here today? You ask her. And your movement is the answer. Your sensations, the evolution of your movement is the answer. Notice what this movement is doing for you. Why you need it. Why do you need it? Notice that. Quietly. Every time you deepen your attention here, there's more to be felt, more to be touched in the cells, in the tissue. And so whatever the movement of spine is here, whatever you are noticing, allowing it now, that same place of spine, that same movement that you've been with, allowing them to bring your body gradually into one particular shape into the clarity of one particular shape. And maybe even pausing inside of it when you find it. It might surprise you. It may feel unsustainable. It may feel kind of painful, or it may feel really good and needed, but you're in this shape, posture, for a few moments without leaving it, without moving it. Can you pause inside of it? Full stillness. If it's okay, full stillness. If you need to keep moving, I honor that. But if you can, just for a few moments, stillness. Here you are, in that shape. Look at that, feel that intelligence. It's almost like you can zoom out and see yourself from outside of yourself in this shape. It's like a sculpture of something in you that really wanted to be seen. It's like a sculpture of something in you that really wanted to be seen. And so come back fully inside of it, feel it. Allow your fingertips to participate in it fully. Your feet, your pelvis. How is your pelvis doing here? How is your heart doing here? Open, closed? Sad, angry, fearful, desirous? And gently, gently, I invite you to, from this shape, to allow the shape itself to gently move. Maybe not gently, maybe forcefully, whatever is intuitive, but it's an organic evolution of the movement. And this is our last stretch of the movement. And this is the question. This shape, when you allow it to organically move towards another shape that you don't yet know, another shape in which your spine, the ancient, the ancestor, can communicate something about her longing, her dream, her desire. So this organic movement that began in your last shape, it's now moving towards a shape, a posture, a sculpture in which spine can communicate something about her dream, her longing, her desire, her path. You are not the director. You are the one listening and following. And when you find that shape, it's gonna feel like your whole body is poised at the edge of the world, almost like spine standing or curling or coming all the way to the ground, whatever it might be. I'm gonna count to 3 and you will deeply become and rest into that shape of spine. Full breath in your body. Full surrender to what the body is doing, to what the spine is doing. 1 and 2 and 3. Slowly arriving, fully landing. Shape. Sculpture. Trusting it, feeling it. What is its energy of this shape? Is this shape breathing? Is this shape, does this shape have a sight, a vision? Is it looking toward a different life, toward a different horizon? Is it looking deep inside of you? Is it sustainable? I'm going to give you a couple of long moments to be with this shape, with this posture, this sculpture. Again, you may zoom out and see it from outside yourself, your body and that shape. But when you come back deeply inside of it, feeling it, sensing it, notice what it wants, what it longs for, what it feels, what images it carries to you in your inner eye. Notice what whispers it brings you. Is it whispering something to you? Is it praying for something? I'm going to go quiet and give you a minute or two to complete your research here with this shape, with these movements. Taking your time, staying with it. Final moments. At least final moments, perhaps, you choose to remember the first shape. Perhaps you choose to remember the first shape that sent you here. And if it feels right, we're going to take one last minute, and this really is our last minute, paying attention to both shapes. Maybe you want to visit both again and allow one to become the other. What is the movement from the first shape that you are in to the second? Give yourself time and breath. That journey between the two shapes, if you do it just another time, just a couple of times, from one to the other and back, there's deep, deep intelligence here. Yes. This next minute will be for you to complete and transition in whatever way you need. There's no rush, no switching of gears, nothing needs to happen quickly. You're just completing your own ritual. Take your time. When you are ready, eventually, and again, no rush. Whenever you trickle back to your seat or to a place on the ground, on the floor, wherever you choose to be, just bring your notebook and a pen or your drawing paper and the pencils. No rush, no rush. Before any words come to the page, before any words come to the page, because I'm sure there'll be many, right? There will be. Like literally put the pen to the paper, maybe a pencil, maybe a color. If you have a color, see which intuitive color may be right for you. And again, there's no rush. I am giving the guidelines, but you can do this in a few moments. Which color to the page, what shape comes first? What stick figure, what shape, what color, what density? What is the first thing that wants to be drawn? So this is our time for drawing. No writing yet, if that's okay with you. There will be time for that later. Drawing is still pre-verbal. And so we're staying with the intuitive imagery that comes. Maybe it's just circles or spirals or zigzaggings or who knows what. This is kind of like making a map of your spinal space without trying too hard, just seeing what comes. And as you create these, like a map, like a sketch of a map, You're like placing little symbols on the map, right? Directly from the spinal psyche that just moved in you. So whatever happened in your movement, you find a way to present it onto the map. Maybe it's just a dot, maybe it's a circle, maybe it's a stick figure, maybe it's a curled snake, right? It's a symbol. And feel free at this point to place a couple of keywords by each of those symbols, or single words or phrasings, right? Single words or phrases. So this is an invitation to still not go into like full-blown writing, right? I know some of you can't wait to put more words to it, and we're about to, right? But take a little bit more time to put symbols on the map first. Maybe it's just a cross, maybe like some like color or density or shape or a splash of something that just connects you visually to something that happened in your movement and is still alive in your spine. When you think you're done in your spine and your dream body, your imagination, your psyche, your body, for a little more, maybe something that you haven't quite harvested yet. Oh, maybe it comes now. And you make a symbol for it or a color for it. And then you put a keyword or a phrase next to the symbol to remind you what the symbol is for. Just kind of like a map, right? You have a map of symbols and phrases. Last minute here. All right. And so now I want to invite you to deepen your map by going specifically to two places. Maybe they're already on the map. Maybe you put them on the map now. And one is the first shape that I invited you into. The shape that came out of that place of your spine that I invited you to. I asked you which place, which section of your spine calls you to itself more than the rest. And you felt it and you move deeper into it. And from it came movements and awarenesses. And from it, I invited you to go into a shape. Maybe you can draw a quick stick figure for how that shape was, right? Like a little visual. Maybe just the stretched arms or whatever that was. And when you have that, maybe you can actually do both, right? For both shapes, you have some kind of a stick figure symbol. And when you do, for each one, beginning with the first and not, and taking a little bit of time, I will let you know when it's time to shift to the next one. But with the first one, writing, allowing intuitively yourself to write in her voice, in that shape's voice. Kind of like a monologue of what she has to say. What is she asking for? What is she saying to the world? What is she saying to you? What does she want to make sure that you know, that the world knows, that someone else knows, right? In the first person, I am, you should hear me, right? Hear me. And you're right in her voice. Make sure that you still feel her in your spine. You still feel the movement that came from her in that place. Keep writing, writing without stopping. So maybe just like a last scoop of words from this one. And then transitioning to the second shape, the final shape that you concluded the movement with. That came kind of as an evolution to the first one, right? And it moved in you as desire, as longing, as dream, as spinal dreaming. And writing in the same way, in the first person, in her voice now. Maybe the voice is changing a little bit, right? It's a different intelligence speaking. Writing without stopping in her voice for a couple of minutes. And if you feel complete, maybe you read those back out loud, like out loud back to yourself. At least some of those phrases. Maybe there are a couple of phrases in each one or a couple of sentences that feel really, like really touch you to the heart, to your deep. And maybe you even highlight those phrases. You find a way to kind of underscore them, right? And you read them out loud back to yourself with your voice out loud right now. Try it. It's pretty amazing. Ah. Yeah. And so I would love to open the community space a little bit. And after we share a little bit here in the larger space, you're going to have a chance to share more with like a smaller configuration. But just so we hear each other's voices here now in the shared space, maybe we can hear from a couple of people, a few people. And a particular way I invite you to step in right now in sharing is exactly without no interlude, no intro, no outro, just a phrase or two from one of these beings, from one of these shapes, from one of their palms, right? So you can just unmute yourself, and just speak it out and then go quiet, which here means unmute yourself again. And we'll hear from a few other people. And in that way, we will hear directly from spine. Okay. And it doesn't have to be the good and the beautiful and the sensual, it can be the hard stuff. It could be the painful stuff. It could be the angry stuff, right? So you are welcome. Whatever is there, it's welcome. Let's begin. Just unmute yourself. No need to ask or anything.
I'm feeling once again, I belong to what is below the surface.
A little hard to hear live. Could you come closer to the mic maybe, or
I'm
is it
not even
just?
sure which mic is on, but
Oh, now it's better.
okay. I am feeling once again, I belong to what is below the surface.
I belong to what is below the surface. Keep coming.
I am the one who followed the lead of the heart in a new direction.
Yes. Come on in. Bree, it's you.
I am alive. I am free. I am unlocking. I am the keys to the sacred.
Oh. And as we're listening, can we allow for this to land as our own too? Just to see if it all really, does it make sense to us? Is it also true in our spine, right? So listening for the collective intelligence that might land in our own, right? All right, let's hear from more people.
I am the dreamer in you, the one who dives into the crashing waves and laughs. I'm showing you braveness, curiosity, untethered motion.
Let me spill open without judgment. Take me down and in and trust my tongue. Let it all flow out and open.
I am back up to chest opening.
Oh.
Pulse, pace, depth, wisdom, quiet, waters flow, tears, gnosis, knowing, arrived, home, ancient truth, before time.
I am wise, I protect you, I believe in you, I crown you, I stand upright and connected from bottom to top. I receive messages from the sky, I receive messages from the earth.
One more. One more. Okay.
I am keeping beginner's mind and everything is always ever possible.
Connie, can you say it again just at the beginning? I think we missed it.
I am keeping beginner's mind and everything is always ever possible.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, in a moment here, let me see what this is going to look like for a second. Oh, perfect. So perfect. We are going to go into a room with just one other person for now, right? And each person, beginning with whoever is most ready now, maybe neither is ready, but a decision will be made. Someone will place their hands at the heart and say, okay, I will begin. And as you begin, you will make sure that you step back away from your camera, that a good portion of your body at least is visible, if not the entire body. You make sure that both of your mics are unmuted, not muted. And for each of you will have a chance to be on both roles, but I would love for each of you to have a chance in just 3 minutes to be witnessed in the movement from one of the shapes to the other, from the first shape to the other. Now, most of you probably had a really clear experience because I asked you to come into a shape and hold it and rest inside of it and get to know it and receive from it. But if for some reason those shapes are not really clear, you can invent shapes in the moment. The spine will invent shapes in the moment. However, I invite you to work with the shapes that spine already presented, right? And so you would be starting in your first shape. Really, there's no need, and this is what I want to make really sure. Sometimes we feel like I need to go in there and it's like, hi, my name is this. And like, okay, I felt this and I felt like it's not that kind of thing. It's more about we're feeling each other. There's no rush. When I begin moving, it's not for the other person. It's not for me to perform for the other person, to make myself understood. It's for my body to have a chance to land, for me to land with me again and to feel my own process and movement again while being held lovingly by another being, right? So we're not trying to perform, we're not trying to orient to communicating to the other person. We're just right here, beginning at the first shape, feeling it, getting to know it again, and allowing it intuitively to move towards this second shape. Right, and it's like there's no rush. So 3 minutes of curiosity and motion, of following the shapes of spine again, from one shape to the other. When the 3 minutes have gone by, your witness will receive, they will see a little note pop up on the screen, and your witness will say, thank you. So you will know to open your eyes if you are the mover and come back with your witness. Now that you've done that, you've moved like that, you can, and this is the invitation, the mover who just moved and sat down, to read whatever you want from the monologues that you just wrote down. It could be one phrase, it could be the whole thing. You will have another couple of minutes, let's say 3 minutes to speak to that experience, either in the movement or reading from what was written. It's really your time to put words to what you want. And then roles will be switched. The other person will have 3 minutes. They will move, they will come back, and they will read or speak or both. And then we'll come back together as a group. And if you are, I'm just going to make this known for those many people who will see this on a recording later on, that this is a really amazing practice to do with someone who is willing to witness you. Even those of you here now may choose to repeat this practice. And each time you do this with spine, she will have new things to communicate. And finding someone who is willing to do this with you and witness you and hear what you have to share is really important. So maybe you can carve out that space in your life where you have someone witnessing you. A lot of this intelligence only lands fully and deeply when shared with another being in this way. That makes it truer. That just makes it truer. All right, any questions? Any things you want to share before we go? Here we go. You might have to accept going into a room with another person. Okay. Whew. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I had a pretty, it's just incredible what witnessing does so quickly, so unexpectedly, at least for me. But I love to hear from you. I just said I shared a movement too with someone, and although I didn't have a beginning shape and an ending shape, it all came together and clicked. But so now in a more kind of in a looser, style, I'd love to hear from a few more people probably about what is here, what is already making itself known, right? Like I guess I'm not gonna lay over too much more, but just what is here, what is making itself known, how so, how unexpectedly so, like maybe speaking to something that kind of catches you off guard a little bit, or is just kind of really pleasantly or unpleasantly surprising to connect with. Anything you want to share really about What is it like to connect with spine so far? I'd love to hear maybe from those people who haven't yet had a chance to share anything. No pressure. And obviously the rest of you are also free to come in. But all are welcome.
I have this sense that the spine is the voice for other places in the body, and that I was working with this wound in my shoulder, and the spine was reaching out to connect with that wound and to give it voice, and to allow me to surrender to whatever that pain is, whatever that trauma is. And so this integration of the voice of the spine connecting as a way of maybe voice of even psyche connecting to the body.
I love that. Thank you, Gina.
I had an awareness come through about the how the spine is an extension of the legs, and the legs are an extension of the spine, and it's like the flow of the divine through those channels, the divine below and the divine above, and I noticed how the energy would flow up, and how I wanted it to come out of my throat before reaching my chakra, like my seventh chakra, and just allowing all of that energy to move through there to that place of finding spiritual awareness about the experience, and then letting it come through the throat. So the return, the importance of that return. So yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rebecca.
For me, it was dancing to the spin. It was like releasing, like, you know, the chaos in my body, just to be free and just to be moved. And I was like imagining how just to move and not speak with the body, just like letting the body speak. Because sometimes I feel like with my body movement, there is like no words into those move. It's like I cannot like speak it out, but I can like move it. So it's like embracing chaos and then will the magic come when you release it. So it really like freely and normally for me. It was like more normal to move than speak. It's easier, you know, like the movement. So it was really I enjoyed it very much.
Exactly. It's like pre-verbal intelligence. It's like it's the oldest language, and of course it's like it doesn't need words really. Awesome. Thank you. Maybe let's hear from one or two more at this point, and then we can move into our next movement. Might take a little break before that, but yeah. Was that Emily? Hi.
Yeah. What did I want to say? I think in parts of it, I haven't tried this before. I felt like I tried to allow my body to move, and in a way I pretended that it was my body moving, but there was some kind of mental layer. And then towards the end, I think it was in between the first and second position, suddenly it was like my body took over, and I followed the body, and that was such a incredible experience to
Yeah.
get in touch with something different, to meet, to get to see or feel that there is something, another intelligence.
So
than my
much
mind.
vaster.
That
So much bigger than the mind. So much bigger, right?
And that felt really safe. Because I trust my body more than my mind, so it felt safe that it is there, or it can move me. Yeah. It can
Emily,
take me.
you're naming such important things here. It's really, I'm just gonna let it. What you're saying is just so it, right? It's like I try to move, but it's almost like I pretend, right? Because it happens to all of us all the time. Like I want to find it, I want to connect, but I'm not really connected. So I kind of fake it. I fake it through the world, and then click, it's there and it's safer. I love that. I love that you're naming that. So much safer to be in that place that is fully integrated into this vaster intelligence that's yours, but it's not just yours. It's this bigger thing. Yeah, so if I might, I will take this opportunity just to name something, right, that like is so central to this work that we do here, which we call the deep body. It's in essence, this is the deep body. It's when through our physical, like literally divine, through the divine physical, because the physical is so divine, right? But through the physical, we are able to suddenly like, twist the muscle, and open a tendon, or like click into a joint, or to let some like old spinal fluid move. And then, whoa, it's like, it's beyond what we think of ourselves as us, right? It's like, it's beyond us. And it really, like this, the fibers of the body just connect. It's like boom, 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 in all directions. And so suddenly this emotional intelligence, this archetypal intelligence, collective, visceral, perceptive, intuitive, and just flowing through the channels. And it's amazing to me that you use the word safer, because if you just talk about it, you'll be like, but what am I going to do with all of that intelligence? It feels so unsafe, right? It's like, how am I? The mind can freak out about it, but truly it's deeply safe to the body, because that's where the body belongs. So the body is in communion, in relationship, in interconnectedness, right? And this is our work. Awesome. So I'd love to hear from more people here, but I'm looking at the time too. And I also want to have another discussion after our second movement or next movement. So maybe you're willing to continue for now. And still, I hope to hear from more of you later on. Do we need like a couple of minutes, a break to go get water, to use the bathroom? Like, let's take a couple of minutes. Let's meet back here at 20 past the hour. Yeah. So in like 4 minutes or so. Let's do it. Great. So, my dears, we come to the most essential part of why I've called you here, of why you've responded, knowingly or unknowingly. We are here for this. We're here for this part. I feel like until now we've just been opening enough, right? Because when the spine is stale and controlled by a patriarchal way of moving in the world for a century, I'm going to say this again. When the spine has been controlled into a specific way of positioning and moving for hundreds of years, our range of spinal intelligence and what that does in a female body is completely limited, because you and I, we walk the world not moving our spines the way our spines actually want to move, or are meant to move, or were meant to move. I want to kind of share a few more strokes about this, and I just want us to wrap our bodies and minds around this in a society, right? It doesn't matter where we are. You can be in Africa, and some of you are. You can be in Europe, and some of you are, and whatever. Where you, like me, have grown up in a patriarchal culture. You, like me, have been, like our bodies' movements have been defined by an industrial, patriarchal demand on the female body. And what we do is we keep the spine straight, at best in a yoga class, or in, if we want to sit in a healthy way, we keep the spine straight, right? That's great. Wow, my spine is straight. If we stretch in a class, wow, amazing. Like I open space in my spine. But what about the snake? What about the snake? I mean, like literally it's not a riddle. It's not a metaphor. It's not a metaphor. It's practical science. The spine begins at the brain stem in the brain, which we call the reptilian brain. The reptilian brain is the oldest part of the brain. It's called reptilian for a good reason, right? Because it develops in reptilians first. And what it does in a reptilian being that has a spine is it snakes. It moves, it undulates, it has freedom, which is why the snake has been a symbol of female feminine sexuality for thousands of years. I don't know what the spine needs to do in a male body. I've never been in one. I don't know, and I don't dare to go there. But I know that in my body, in my lineage of dancing priestesses that I know I come from, and I know that in your body and this anatomy of yours, where the reptilian part of your body is connected to the tail of the body that's made into a scoop. Like literally, I showed you a picture. It's a spoon that's meant to stir the pelvis, to protect and stir the pelvis. That's what the tailbone is for. And you know what they call the tailbone in the science books? You can look into it. They call it the most redundant, in other words, unuseful, unnecessary part of the body, because it has no function, no role. I dare to disagree. So if you think about it, like our bodies, and this snake inside of us, and the way you just did it, I invited you to intuitively open your spine, and you didn't do this. You didn't do this, right? Like you snaked your spine, not because I told you to, because that's what your spine wants to do. And just imagine, and we're about to go into the movement that hopefully will create the cellular remembering in your body, so that tomorrow, especially on Monday, right? Because Monday, we click back into this, structure of like Monday, 9 o'clock. But maybe, just maybe, this time, your spine is now awake in a way that even as you walk down the street, it's like, oh, just a little something in the sacrum. Just, I'm sitting in a chair and I just need a little snake. And something else opens in my body. And it opens in my brain, and it opens in my pelvis, which is everything we need. The brain changes and the pelvis changes because the snake moves the way it's supposed to move. Now, yeah, I get really excited. I mean, I just got obviously really fired up about this stuff. I hope it works for you. I just one thing that I have been really aware of as I've studied the origins of sacred movement, women's sacred practices, which I know some of you, like I've been sharing about it, but it's worth repeating. In the study of sacred movement and women's sacred body practices, they literally have been deleted from history books. Like there's no history of dance or history of women that make a mention. You know, and I mean the original text, like back in the day, there is probably now, right? There is more now. But like the history was an attempt to rewrite us into this different version that the snake actually, the snake is actually going to destroy whatever confinement we've been placed inside of. The snake has the power to stir that up. The snake has the power to restore everything. But in women's dance practices and body movement, sacred ritual practices from around the world, from Tibet to India and the yogic temples to the Oriental, to like Turkey and the Middle East, to the, you know, what now is called belly dance, but used to be birth dance rituals. You know, later on, this movement that women did through their spines, you know, was positioned as a movement to entertain the king or the sultan, right? And it's put in history books. You can read that it's actually originated in the harem for the sultan, for the king, for the men, to entertain men, to seduce men, to be with men in a good way, right? Oh, my blood boils so fast when I think about that. This movement that was in a way taken away from us, you know, and it was made to be so much less than what it is. You know, I don't know if you grew up with stories about this at all, but if you did, it's likely that, at least in my culture, like a woman who danced in this way, who like twirled and curled her spine in the public eye, she was an easy woman. She was a woman who's not a decent woman, not a respected woman, right? And so what I'm saying is, I guess all I'm really trying to say is, you know, the spine moving in its native ways in our bodies, in its reptilian serpentine ways in our bodies, restores. It's a restorative. It restores soul. It restores psyche. It restores vital health to the system. It restores vital health to the female psyche. And you know, like I'm tentatively using these female, feminine, whatever, because we don't need to identify as female or woman necessarily, but we come in this body that wants to move in these ancient ways, and there's no question about it. So what we're going to do in this next movement is to continue. We already started also with vulva and belly, if you were in those spaces too. But the spine is the connector. The spine is the communication tower, so that the intelligence of vulva and the intelligence of the reptilian, all of that is distributed, and signals are sent not only through the tissue of the body, but through the tissue of the world. Yeah. Not only through the tissue of the body, but through the tissue of the world. And so there's a restoration of soul and of psyche that the world is starved for. That's the way I think about it. I'd love to hear from you after the movement and see if that lands or how you think about it, right? So, and you know, let me just say this. Our spine it's almost calcified, you know, do we know that word? It's almost like petrified. It's almost like frozen in a way, right? Because the range has been so limited. So when I say just move your spine and snake your spine and initiate the undulation, I don't expect that you like, you don't have to perform it. You don't have to force it. You don't have to feel bad that it's not immediately available to your body. No, it's a slow, gradual, intuitive restoration of what is already yours. So I don't know how it moves in your body, but your spine knows how it wants to move in your body, right? So it doesn't have to look like me. No expectation that any of this needs to happen. And let's please stand. I want to, as we all begin together, I want to create a little bit of a visual vocabulary. I'm not sure if it might be helpful, it might not be, right? So again, the intelligence of your body is the most important. What your body needs and how your body needs to do it, how fast, how slow, is the most important. And yet maybe what I bring in as a vocabulary for the spine, because I've worked with it quite a bit, may be useful, right? So let's try together. Ah, yeah. Very, just little things, okay? So if we think about, this is the most important place for me, the tailbone, which they call the unnecessary part of our bodies, right? Quote unquote. Right here, tailbone, connected to the sacrum. And so I just want to explore. I want you to explore, even if your body does not do it like mine at all, it doesn't matter. Like you explore what your tailbone does when you choose to give it freedom. How does it want to move, your tailbone? Ah, yes. What does your tailbone want to do in your body? What is its organic movement? Does it want to circle? Does it want to push and stir and go down and then scoop up? Because if we follow the, oh, let me give more power to the music here. All right, that's good. You can hear the music, yes? Or no? No, you can hear the music. Okay, got it. No, it's coming. Oh, here we are. Okay. So maybe your volume is at the max right now. We're going to engage in deep sacred body practices. And if you follow the function of the spoon of the tailbone, it's like scooping and then tilting pelvis up to bring this energy up, right? It's like curling the waist, scooping and bringing it up. And it doesn't have to look like me, but you might want to try and see how it wants to play in your body exactly, right? And what's important in all of this is that the body is soft and it's not too clenched, forcing things or trying too hard. And you can choose to focus on isolating from the waist down, just like to focus on that movement of your body, on the hips, on the tailbone. And closing your eyes just to see, just to feel what is being stirred up, what is being brought up. And so just one more way. And like, so right now I'm painting some vocabulary, and then I'm gonna let you go into your own exploration. But here's this one, right? So we might be kind of pushing and scooping through the tailbone, right? And it's kind of a zigzaggy undulation on the vertical axis of the body. But there's also the sideways, right? So like if you're kind of moving on the horizontal axis, it's kind of left to right, like a sway, sway, sway. Right, so like one of them is this kind of pushing through the front of the body, back and front, back and forth. And then the sideways is just the hip to hip, right to left, sway, sway, sway. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. So like the rippling through the back and the front, so it's like front, back. It's like, that's like one of the undulations. Tailbone really engaged. Oh, tailbone, neck. Let your neck loose. Let your head roll. All right. And then the sideways is just a bit more like the left to right sway, 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 sway. And our real goal, and notice actually for a moment, what is it like to bring them together? So if the pelvis and the tailbone are curling and pushing, then if you're like, allow yourself the full circle, the sway to the left, the sway to the right, and through the front and the back of your body. It may take a moment to find a rhythm with it. And so now you can drop all of that trying, all of that rational understanding or figuring out what you see in me. Now we can just keep what works for you, keep what already is happening in your body, and the rest will come from your deep pelvis, from your deep sacrum, from the base of your spine. So taking this time to really close your eyes and find yourself in the world of your spinal priestess, serpent priestess, moving through your body and the way she wants to. You can always open your eyes when you need that, but give yourself to the senses, give yourself to the inner experience. Yes. Finding in your body what is working, what is moving, what is wanting to come undone, especially that. What is wanting to come undone? Paying attention to the upper spine, upper back. It's usually the most isolated part, upper spine. If you can engage that too, that will mean your shoulders moving, your neck moving, your head moving, your jaw, your chin. The spine really is the whole body. The keywords here are freedom, freedom in your body, and allowing, coming undone, following through the spine, what is working for you. This song is called Awaken the Snake, and that's what we're doing. Engaging the neck, letting the neck be loose. From the top down, the snake travels. From the reptilian brain down into the body, the snake is free to travel. Neck is free, shoulders are free, upper spine is engaged, waist is free. What is trying to come undone? And the movements can overtake the entire body, right? It's like the movements are taking over, getting bigger or getting smaller, but held through the whole body, expressing, freeing up, articulating. Yes. Staying with it, whatever is true, whatever is happening, fully in it, breathing, speaking in tongues that you haven't spoken in before, going with it, going with the river, going with the river of the spine. Letting that river open your pelvis, yes, to stir that old sacred fire in the sacrum, in front of the sacrum, deep in the grounds of the pelvic tissue, old fire. The snake protects it. When the snake is free, the fire is free. So letting eyes closed or whatever works for you, but mostly always finding ways to drop back in, eyes closed. Even if you have to open for a while, then falling back into inner experience. Can you find a way to notice so deeply, to feel so deeply, to sense so deeply what is coming awake at your tailbone, at the top of your pelvic tissue, in the sacred bowl of the pelvis? What is there now? Can you move that? Can you let it be felt more? If a lot of sexual energy is moving, please don't stop it. If you feel like you're about to culminate or express a lot of sexual energy, please don't hold it back. This is the right space for it. So keep it alive, whatever it is that's alive in your pelvis, even if there's numbness, even if there's pain, even if there's I can't. Kiss that with love, kiss that with breath, kiss that with attention, and keep allowing it to gently or powerfully move. Can you allow the sensations and energies of your pelvis to move up the spine and send messages through the fibers of your body out to the whole organism through your movement? Can you distribute the messages of the pelvis and the tailbone through the whole system, through your movement and your breath? It takes strength to stay with it. It takes strength to stay with it. Here's the key, dear one. Here's the key. Can you allow whatever is alive in your pelvic bowl, in your sacred deep bowl, to move and undulate up the spine and up the arms and up the chest until it fully opens your heart? So your sex opens your heart. Your sex flows up to open your heart. allowing the tailbone to stir ever more of this ancient, inextinguishable fire, and to send it up, to open your heart. Heart and sex and heart moving in the same frequency, in the same rhythm. Try this while also revolving the neck, turning the neck, letting the neck loose, letting the head to fall loosely around your center. Heart and sex, and the head is free. The head is free. If you are turning your neck, just try to not override how ready your neck is for that. But if you are turning your neck, you may get dizzy. Just kind of go at your own rhythm. But don't fear it. Don't fear getting dizzy. Don't fear letting your head loose. Rotating the neck, making those connections really, really flexible between the neck and the head. So trying now the pelvis and the heart together, sex and heart together, and the head is turning, the chin is falling to the chest, and then over to the shoulder and backwards. Losing the head. This is called losing the head. And resting into the heart, into the pelvis. If you want to be held by a visual of other people moving with these energies, you can always open your eyes and then fall back into your own private rhythm. We learn from other bodies, so let's every now take a look at how our other bodies are with us, how other bodies are with us in this practice. Can you feel us with you? Can you keep letting your head go, loose and lost? And can you keep engaging the tailbone? At this point, it might be a good reminder to stay with a rhythm that does not strain your body. It doesn't put too much on your muscles. It's sustainable in a way. If you've really loaded those muscles too much, now there's room for you to just take some energy back from that. And what in this dance of yours right now is sustainable? How can you sustain it with joy, with ease? the sex and the heart together, and the head is loose. Just another moment. It takes discipline to restore this rhythm, you know. It takes strength and willingness and presence. And I wonder if you are already noticing what spinal being, what serpent priestess is becoming free here. Is there a being of its own that is really becoming known to you here? Can you let this being show you the world around you? Can you let her, the serpent priestess, show you the world around you in your inner eye, but also in the senses? What I'm asking is, when you move like her, with her, as her, what world does she lead you into? What is the soil under your feet when you dance with her feet? What forests, what deserts, what moons, what oceans, what caves, what moss, what rocks are there with you? What is the world like? What is she showing you? Move with your images. Sex and heart open. Who are you as snake woman? Ancient, unforgettable snake person, snake priestess. With your eyes closed, with the eyes of your body, look around, feel and know and see and sense what is behind you. What is supporting you? Who is here with you as serpent woman, serpent person? And we only have a little left here in this journey, in this place. So bringing all of your attention, all of your sensitivities here, and trusting that what is moving here is bigger than you, more intelligent, older, and it has keys for you, messages, assignments even. It has assignments for you. Maybe one sacred assignment. Let this assignment or this key, this gift, be shown to you now through the movements of your own body. Through the visions of your own inner eye, through the feelings and the energies felt in your organism. Trust it, trust it, trust it. I ask this of you, snake woman, serpent person, why have you come? Why are you here? Why have you returned to this body today? Why have you returned to this body today? Where must you go? What must you do? What must you restore? Maybe in these last minutes of this practice, you can lock bodies together with the serpent being inside you, like snake to snake, snake with snake together, twirled around each other to receive each other, to marry each other. Maybe dancing so close together, you and the serpent being as two, dancing as one, right? Maybe now you can look into each other's eyes in your living imagination, looking into each other's eyes, tongues, tongue to tongue, eye to eye, spine to spine. And notice if in this dance, snake being, serpent being gives you even more of an assignment, of a legacy to carry. And it might come at this point as whispers through your own voice. Maybe you whisper, maybe you hear sounds in your inner psyche. Maybe you lock eye to eye, face to face with this ancient being, like a reflection of you, like a soul reflection of you. Last minute here in between the worlds. What do you have to notice? Remember in yourselves. Maybe a dashing image of an ally comes, a friend. Maybe the landscape all around you has come alive. And your sense of communion is what you have to bathe in. I will leave it all up to you. 2 minutes to complete your ritual in this space. And just right here, without changing anything. On the contrary, taking it all with you in your groin, in your heart, in your tailbone, in embodying all that is here. And with your eyes still closed, just remembering us, the rest of us here with you, orienting to us without looking, without shifting, just orienting to us. The way our fibers are sending signal to each other. We have been doing this for thousands of years. Thousands. And so my question to you is, can you stand the way you are with us, remembering that this is what we've been doing for thousands of years? Turn toward us, turn toward us. You don't have to open your eyes, but turn toward the circle of beings that have been called here to this circle today across space and time by the spine priestess again. And when you open your eyes, do not change anything about how you're already moving. In fact, let's open our eyes on each other without changing a beat about what we're already doing with our bodies. Let's witness one another quietly in these movements. Let yourself fall into this web with us. That you are a part of. Whatever is moving through your body still, let it be. Let it unfold, not as a presentation, but as deep truth moving through your body as we witness one another. Gently opening the lips on your mouth, the same way the lips of your rose and the pelvis are open. Allow through these movements that we are doing together for some whispers to happen. Do not force them, open and allow. Whisper. Maybe songs, maybe chants, maybe a tone, maybe a scream. We will not hear it as sound here, but we will hear it in the psyche that we share. and still the body as a serpent, and still the body as a serpent. Yes. Yes. Coming ever closer toward the circle of people, the circle of women and beings and bodies and serpents. Just for a couple of minutes, no words, nothing is shifting. We go back to those same rooms just for a couple of minutes, no words, nothing to share, but just for these movements to continue. That's it. 2 minutes, we go in, you do it together in whatever way works, eyes open, eyes closed, it's up to you. And then we come back. That's it.
Hello?
Hi, yes. Yeah, gently, gently allowing the stream, the river of the spine to settle in, awake and alive. Allowing gently the river of the spine to settle in, awake and alive, becoming still. And just for a few moments, taking a scan with your eyes closed as you come back to sitting or resting. Feeling your spine, taking a scan of your spine, of your being, really, of your body being. How do you feel who you are in this moment? When you're ready to open your eyes, landing on a shape in your space, a color, noticing the vibrancy, the depth of view. Notice the first impulse when you're about to switch gears, so to say, so to speak, right? About to come back. Notice the first impulse. Is it to fix our faces, our hair, our expression? Is it to, what is it? And to notice that there's something utterly vulnerable in being here with all the sweat, with all the depth, with all the tears, all that's here together. Through the eyes of the serpent, what do you see here today, right now in their circle? Who do you see here with the eyes of the serpent? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here we are, just a few minutes away from closing the space, and as if this never happened, right? Continuing on, going into worlds in different countries, speaking different languages, going to a Monday schedule, all of that. And yet, in between the worlds, this has taken place. You and I were there, are here. And I want to know, what does your serpent being want to make sure, if you have any words from your serpent being that you're being left with, that you're being blessed with, entrusted with, might you share them with us in one just blurb, right? Just bringing your voice in whatever is most authentic, and one blurb and one scoop, and then resting so that other voices can share too. What is the serpent being here saying today? What must we not forget as we surface back into the world above? Anyone can unmute, and I know it might feel scary, but it's not. Just do it.
The serpent is deeply resourced. The serpent is connected.
Thank you. We can also, you're welcome to speak in the serpent's voice and the I person as well, if you desire. Lisa?
Erotic flow.
Erotic flow.
Sensual awakening.
Your erotic magic is a gift to the world. Share it.
Living.
Did you say live it?
Slither. Slither.
Slither. Slither. Slither. Okay.
Magical. Oh, I just wanted to say magical witchy.
Magical witchy. The magical witchy. Can you, your serpent's like, can you please carry that into the world? Please don't leave me here. Please bring that with you. The magical witchy. Is there more? One or two more?
Confidence and voice.
Confidence and voice.
Swimming through water.
Mm-hmm. Let's all do it.
Rebirth and my infinite spine.
Rebirth in my infinite spine. Oh, goddess. Yes. So, my dears, this is not the space we put too many words on, right? And it's a good thing that we're out of time, because otherwise we'll be like, let's say more. I'll do that, right? But as we have all felt deeply, I trust this is not so much about speaking. This is much more about how we move in ourselves and in the world. This is much more about what it's like to not keep our spines straight. This is so much more about what it's like to use that unusable part of our bodies, the tailbone. It's the one that stirs. It literally stirs. If you find yourself bored, emptied out of your life essence, sitting in the office, sitting with your fears, sitting with your doubt, for God's sake, go to your tailbone, just twirl it ever so gently, just go, and do nothing, think nothing of it, think nothing of it, expect nothing of it, demand nothing of it, just be with the movement. A note to myself too, right? Because I may sound like I know more about it than everybody, but it's not true. I just do it with you together. And then I also need to remind myself every step of the way. That's how it goes. I forget every day. I forget every day. So the tailbone, the ever stirring, ever down from the spine instantly. Just the other movement is this, by the way, to lose the head so that the spine, right? Because if this is heavier, this is clicked into the place it always is, right? There's no way for the snake to move. But if the head is loose, if the jaw is loose, then the snake goes and connects to the tailbone. And once those are connected, tail and base, just connecting those two. That's it. Oh. Yeah. So I will leave the space open for another few minutes. I know that some of you may feel perfectly aligned to bow out now. Some of you may want to hang out just a couple of moments more in this field and maybe to hear a sound or a word or something or a share, right? And before I open that space or close it, right, I just wanted to name that, yeah, you know, it's really hard to do this at the end of something like this, but just in case you want more of this community, more of these practices, more of this consistent container where we keep dropping in, we are opening our membership, Flame Keepers, again in May, coming up just in a month and a half or so. And it's led by different practitioners, but very deeply skilled people. And we have reduced the cost so much so that everyone can access it. And you will hear more about it, but just putting it on your radar. And thank you so much for being here. And if you choose to stay for a moment, please feel free to bow out at any time. But I'd love to, I know a lot has moved. And I know that for some of us, words actually may be the grace that comes with naming something. And you're so welcome to put some words to something here for all of us, not just for yourself. So please feel free to share anything that's surprising, that's important, that's deep, that's vulnerable, that's painful, that's sad. Thank you all. Yeah, thank you, whoever's leaving. But those of us staying present, please bring us one jewel at least of your practice. Share something that's hard to share. And I'm going to stop the recording here, actually.